Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm going to be taking you through the 3 stages to help you stand out from the crowd and secure your next dream job. I'm going to be giving you the tools and tips that you need to shine through the employment process, including CV writing, interview skills, and the first days on your new role. You're going to need either a copy of your current CV or something to take notes on. To stand out from the crowd, all you need is the confidence to know who you are and perform as your true best self. And that's what I'm going to be helping you do today for when you're applying for your next job. You're going to be making a big impression on employers throughout all the stages of the recruitment process after this video, so I hope you're ready. I wanted to speak to someone very influential and at the top of her game about how she's made a very impressive and individual mark on the music industry. Hi Steph, you're right.
I'm good.
Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I'm loving this fit. I'm loving them nails. Can we get a close up on the nails, please? So today we're talking about stand out from the crowd, and clearly you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm very stand out.
Yes.
I'm very I can't steal anything. They'll be like, that's her right there.
Yeah, love it, love it. Could you tell me some of your best techniques that you do to stand out from the crowd?
I think just be myself. I think me being me just automatically made me stand out. And I feel like I liked different things than what other people like. Like I remember coming up, me and my cousin was actually having a conversation about this the other day. I know what I want, even though sometimes it might get confusing because you want so much. But I do know generally, if there's a line, a straight line, I know exactly what I want. And I'm willing to work for what I want. I'm willing to work very hard for the places I want to go. And I take accountability for everything. So I would never really put the blame on anybody else about my life.
That was so eye-opening. It's so great to hear the personal success stories from the artists we see on the big stages. And you can shine just like them in your career path. So, let's look at some of the best techniques to help you stand out from the crowd to get your next job. Number 1, have awareness of your strengths and areas of development and know how to boldly articulate them to employers in positive ways. When you are your authentic self, someone who shows self-awareness, it allows your current and future employers to build stronger confidence and trust in your abilities. Number 2, use bold and interesting examples of situations that you've overcome that show off your own initiative and ability to problem solve. Number 3, infuse some of your own special creativity into the employment process. This could be from your visual style on your CV to add in some unique stylistic touches to your interview outfit. Number 4, execute the follow-up technique. Not many people actually follow up with employers after interviews or throughout the whole employment process. You can follow up by asking questions to find out more information, which will convey your commitment to the role in question. This could be clarifying something said in the interview to asking what you might need to prepare for the interview. Don't be shy to stand up from the crowd and follow up on an opportunity that you do want. Employers appreciate this. Although remember, not every employer will have the time or capacity to answer questions, so don't take it to heart if they don't answer. But why just hear it from me? Let's speak to our industry expert Richard, Diversity Inclusion Ambassador, and Deloitte Black Network Co-Lead, and get a better understanding of how you can stand out from the crowd in the employment process.
Hi everyone, my name is Richard Rufusel. I'm a manager in Deloitte, which is a professional services, a consulting firm. My role at the moment is as a chief of staff. So what that means is I'm looking after how we run as a business with a specific focus on how we bring a bit more of belonging and culture and really bring diversity and inclusion into our business strategy and how we transform it going forward. A bit about my background, I'm Nigerian, I'm 27, I started my career as an apprentice. I was a scholar, is what we called them in Deloitte, back in 2010. And from there I went to uni and then came back. So I've seen a little bit of the overall world of work. The first question I was asked today was about what is standing out? How do we define standing out? And for me, I think there's 2 sides to it. Right? There's a positive version of standing out and there's a negative version of standing out. But in essence, standing out is about helping people notice you in particular when you're in a group of people in the same space, right? So whether that is as part of a sports team, whether that is part of a team at work, whether that is part of a crowd and a group at a concert, right? How do you make someone notice you? Now, when I talk about it being both positive and negative ways of standing out is you can make such a poor impression that people don't forget it. I remember I've worked with someone who was in his induction, so they were just starting at work, and they had such a negative attitude. They had an approach that was really lazy, really laid back, but to the point of feeling like I'm too good for this. And what that meant was, even though there were about 200 or 300 other joiners with him, we remembered him, we spoke about him, because his attitude was so far out from what was expected, but in a negative sense. Equally, from a positive sense, you could have those people who stand out because you are exceptionally skilled, exceptionally talented, or because your personality is just so memorable. You're the type of person who is bubbly, who is positive, who is friendly, who people connect with, right? And being able to find that thing about you and the thing that you have, the thing that you do that makes you memorable is where standing out, I think, really lives for me. So the final question is, what do you do if you don't have experience? Now, I think I've put experience in air quotes there because a lot of people think experience only means places that you've worked. The experience that you have is your life, right? Your life experience is what you need to bring to it. For me, when I was first applying, I used the examples of drama and church that I was involved in. So how I worked in a team, I was in plays, I had to be aware of what other people needed. In church, it was how I took those skills of organizing youth services or youth events. I was part of it. What did I do? How did I build on it? Even as a sibling, right? I'm the eldest. So when I was growing up, I had responsibilities, my siblings had responsibilities. How did we work together to get it all done? Your experiences don't have to be limited to the professional. You can bring your personal to the fore and stand out through those. How do I highlight the things that I've done? And you'll notice the language I've used in this answer, all of it is about I. I know a lot of people who, when I ask for examples or to tell me a bit about themselves, they tell me about what a group has done. So it's a lot of we, and as part of a group, we did this, and not enough about what you did and how you are standing out and how you are special.
Okay, I hope you wrote down some of those amazing tips. So now that we've covered the overall ways that you can stand out in front of employers, let's break down the different stages of employment. The 3 sections are CV writing, interview skills, and the first days on your new role. Stage 1, CV writing. Now is the time to grab your CV. Note, you will have to dedicate some proper time for this. Firstly, tailor your experience in your CV directly for the role that you're applying for. Does your CV have a personal statement? Is it positioned at the beginning of page 1? Be authentic about who you are and avoid throwing in words which aren't representative of you, but instead, sell your best self and your achievements. Try to put emphasis on results achieved through the roles and not just your responsibilities. This way of thinking is attractive to employers because it helps show that you'll be actively thinking of ways to maximize results in the future. Highlight any personal and professional growth you've experienced through your previous working history. What have you become better at? What new skills have you adopted? What are you able to spot and identify now that you couldn't before? This awareness is key to standing out to employers. And don't forget to ask someone to read over your whole document to check your grammar. And here's a standout from the crowd action for you. Review the structure and format, making sure your CV text and paragraphs are well spaced. I recommend using Canva CV template for a smart and professional look, and for something more creative. You can find that at canva.com. Remember, additionally, don't be shy to use power words which describe your working style, and even tailor your language to the type of language the organization uses itself. You can find help about this on Indeed at Career Advice. Next, the interview stage. Before you start this section, I highly recommend you watch the Boss Your Interview Quick Set by Roxanne for more tips on the key interview strategies. It will cover doing your research beforehand, as well as arriving to the interview on time and dressing well. But what makes someone not just do well in an interview, but shine? Number 1, tell your story and show how you're different from the next candidate. Make sure you spent time properly reflecting on any personal and professional development you've experienced through your previous working history or development history. Number 2, employers often ask questions based off what you put on your CV, so make sure that you can speak on things written down further. When preparing your answers for an interview, you will need to go into more detail than just the points on your CV. Number 3, another way that you can stand out from the crowd during interviews is by asking important and interesting questions to the recruiters. Asking questions means less room for confusion and it shows your commitment to the position. As well as asking questions to clarify things, you can ask intriguing questions about the company and even the hiring staff themselves to show that you're interested not just in the role, but in the company and team itself. Here's another stand out from the crowd action for you. Pause this video for a minute and think about what 3 things you could ask an employer during your next interview. Write that down now. Remember, great employers are looking for unique people who have developed themselves through their individual experience. So we're at the 3rd and final stage, your first week in your new role. Let's speak about when you pass the interview and secure the job. There's getting ready to start work. Number 1, in order to keep standing out after your interview, in the first week, spend some time networking and getting to know your team properly. Creating positive rapport early on and throughout your working experience will have them remembering you for future events and activities, which could help you in the long run. Practice keeping up good communication to those who reach out to you. Your standout from the crowd action here is practice the 30, 60 and 90 plan. It's a document that articulates your intentions for the first 30, 60 and 90 days of your new job. You can outline your high-level priorities, your actionable goals, as well as ways in which you'll measure your success through the first 3 months. Done well, it can help make a positive first impression on your employer or the hiring manager you hope to be your future boss. Now it's up to you to take on board these steps. Here are some final points to build your confidence to stand out from the crowd. Number 1, be your authentic self. Number 2, play your strengths forward. Number 3, reflect on your areas of development to improve. Number 4, boldly articulate what you've learned to date. Number 5, express your creativity. And number 6, network and keep going. Part of wanting to stand out from the crowd is simply by doing it. Be a living testimony by pushing yourself to do the real work. None of the facade, just you believing and rooting for you. Give yourself the space to flourish. On the screen now are a few related Apprentice Nation quick sets that could be really helpful when you're going through the employment process. Also, remember you can sign on to our mentoring opportunities and gain hands-on advice from someone in the industry that you want to go into. You can even practice your interview skills. I hope it was helpful. Now it's time for you to take your own stage and stand out from the crowd today. Now, let's take Jay-Z for example. On the left, we see a young man chasing his dreams, but he was also caught in the trap of authenticity, showing valuables that he really could not afford at the time. Now, what's the difference with the picture on the right? This is clearly a confident and successful Jay-Z placed at the top of $1 billion empire, who obviously places his value elsewhere when he could buy hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of these chains. Now, I'm not saying enjoying the journey along the way is wrong. Celebrating yourself when it's right is key. But the message here is that you don't need the bravado or to be the loudest or the boldest in the room to really shine.